Greetings, I am so glad that you're here. I am going to talk about glucose. And why am I talking about this? Why is this valuable to you? Well, you probably aren't eating the right foods for your brain. What does your brain run on? It runs on glucose. And what foods proportionally have the most sugar in it? Because glucose is sugar. It's actually fruit. Fruit generally is about 80% carbohydrates, and it's coming in that simple form in those simple carbohydrates, which are sugars. It comes in fructose, F for fructose, F for fruit. That's an easy way to think about it. And fructose is a wonderful sugar, and I'll tell you why. It doesn't even need insulin, I've heard, to be ushered out of the bloodstream. So that gives your pancreas a break. And our organs are overtaxed mostly by the way we eat. There's a lot of blood that has to rush into the stomach area to assist with all the digestion. But here's a way to relieve your poor, delicate organs that are being abused like slaves, that are constantly having to run these organs, these factories, these plantations, if you will. Fruit is very easily digestible. Starch is harder to digest. Starch is sticky. Anyways, starch is not as easily digestible. It's a complex carbohydrate, so something that's more complex needs to be broken down into simpler elements so that your body can therefore use it. And fruit is perfect because it's easy to break down. It'll give your body a chance to heal itself, and these are just all good things. Fruit is the best food for those preparing for the work of God. It makes sense. It's good for brain workers. Your brain is metabolizing an immense amount of sugar, so much so that, get this, if you have an insufficient supply of glucose, of sugar that is, in your body, the other parts of the body which run on glucose as well, like your muscular system, they will actually very unselfishly deny themselves of that sugar because they esteem the brain more important. So the sugar will go to your brain, it will power your brain, and then you'll have good enough judgment to seek out high quality food, which will perpetuate your life. And this is an important there's an important spiritual lesson here, because the Bible, when speaking of fruit, the first food given to man, God says, "To you it shall be for meat." And that was the best food that's ever been given to man. It's the most natural food. And let's look here at nature. Here's some pine needles. These are leaves. These pine needles have, it's been said that they have more vitamin C than even an orange. But is it healthier than an orange? Should we be eating the leaves of the trees, or should we be eating the fruit of the tree? Should we be eating the roots? Should we be going and eating potatoes, or should we be eating the fruit? In the 21st century, where fruit is abundant, where people have more economic means than ever before, and they have more time and leisure than ever before, fruit trees can be planted. It's very realistic that more fruit could even come onto the market, but surely there's already a lot of fruit out there, and we can be eating more of it and choosing that over other choices. We can, getting back to for you it shall be for meat. What is the strong meat? That term is used to convey an idea that there's thoughts and ideas in the Bible that, if dug for as for hid treasure, they're very precious, like gold and silver. Whereas the milk of the word are basically simple elementary ideas that are lying on the surface of God's word that can easily be taken away. But in order to get to get the quality meat out of the Bible, it takes meticulous and methodical study. So likewise, what is the strong meat in the physical world? As in the physical, so in the spiritual. How does this object lesson apply? Well, you have to go back to Adam's diet, because Adam's health was impeccable. His physique was superb. His mind was intact. He had no degenerative diseases. He was much larger in stature, 2-3 times bigger. And so what was he eating? Well, he was eating fruit. He was eating fruit. He wasn't even eating vegetables. He wasn't even allowed to eat vegetables. He was given permission for the sake of his livelihood after sin entered into the world, because he wasn't going to be in a place of perpetual perfect weather and whatnot. So for the sake of life, or the continuance of life, he was given vegetables. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention, because when you're asking yourself, well, what is the strong meat? It would have to be the meat that would be able to sustain a being that was made in the image of God, unmarred by sin. And what food was given to do that? Well, he was eating principally of fruit. And now that we're at the end of the world, and God declares the end from the beginning, and we're getting ready for translation, and the only thing that we're going to be eating throughout eternity, chiefly, is fruit. So, are you going to like the bill of fare when you get to heaven? If you get to heaven, and what should you be doing to prepare yourself for translation? Well, the health message was given to prepare oneself for translation. And when the 7 last plagues are being poured out, and all this disease is crippling the people, who is going to be able to stand? I submit to you, it's those that are eating fruit. So fruit, let it be your meat. To you, it is for meat.